Right now, we're going to talk a little Eagles NFL. Adam Caplan, SiriusXM NFL Radio, Inside the Birds podcast, which we just posted up on our Facebook and Twitter sites. And he is here, not really on the Boardwalk Honda hotline, but he is live in person.
Yeah,
man.
Good to see you guys.
It's been a whirlwind of a week, and it's only Thursday.
It typically wears you down from going to parties and talking to people, especially you guys. You're on the air all the time. The whole setup here is interesting. So for people at home, the left side has about probably 60 radio stations in the middle of the major networks. And then on the other side, there's probably about 100 to 120 stations. Plus, I don't know how many podcasts are out here.
Yeah, good bit.
Yeah,
I talked to a few guys. I was like, oh, you know what? Just talking standard stuff. What station you from? What are you doing here? Oh, I just have a podcast.
So they are
really
right. Some run-of-the-mill guy.
Okay. I mean, it's crazy how it's
what it's become.
Changed, right?
Yeah. The more the merrier. That's what the NFL feels.
Well, it's been busy because now the teams are here. It's cranking. We got news on the game, but we have news on the Eagles as well, potentially, that Adam might have for us, which Andrew Berry got hired earlier in the week to Cleveland. A lot of people didn't really know what his role was here. He wasn't here very long. But is this a loss, and could it potentially be more of a loss?
Well, the question is, Mike, and I know where you're getting at. Do you think that, people want to know, is Andrew going to take people with him? Well, first of all, he was only here last February, so it's been 11 months. And he gets a 5-year deal. I'm told that he has full personnel control. Not only does he have the 53, he's got the draft and free agency. Like, he's got exactly the same power Howie Roseman has. Think about that. That's incredible. I mean, it's funny. He works for Cleveland for a couple of years, comes to Philly for 11 months, and then goes back to Cleveland. It's amazing. Now, to move this forward, my understanding is he won't be able to take anyone. And what is the reason for that? Well, there's precedent here. Joe Douglas did not take anyone with him. He was prevented from doing that. Howie Roseman is doing what a lot of GMs do. He doesn't want to lose his top people. So that's my understanding is that's what's going to happen. The only guy that Joe Douglas took was Mike Nolan's son, Chris, who was a low-level scout, who's now got his own area for the Jets. And it's well within Howie's rights to do this when a guy's under contract. So, look, the only way you get out from teams, guys, is you let your contract expire. But, of course, they're going to ask you, well, wait a minute, why are you letting your contract expire? You don't want to be here? So that's typically what happens with personnel guys. So, again, just to summarize, I don't think that's going to happen, that Berry will be able to take anyone. And the thing is, you have to ask yourself this question. Who would he know? Because you really work under Howie Roseman's umbrella. You have the other side where the Joe Douglas people, before he left, Andy Weidel now runs the scouting staff. But Berry reported to Howie. It's kind of an odd down the middle here.
Right.
There are two sides, but they all work for the common goal. So that's really the issue that people had. Would they be able to leave? And, again, my understanding is it's going to be a no.
But is that rubbing people the wrong way? Like,
I don't think – I think guys who could potentially go with Andrew or could have gone with Joe look at it this way. If you're going to block me, how about you promote me? How about give me more money?
Right.
It's fair.
Well, Ryan, here's the thing, though. There's really no openings. I did some checking. There's really nothing open within the Eagles personnel staff where guys can move up. The way that you move up is when guys leave. That's typically the way you do it. It's no different than coaching. When coaches leave, you have a chance to move up because you could take that guy's job. But with this situation, Andrew Berry had a role that was created for him to come in from Cleveland. And I know that Bill Polian probably had something to do with it, to come here to Philly because he worked for Bill with the Colts. And another fact about Bill Polian, let's not forget, actually most people don't know this, Bill was on the search committee to hire Doug Peterson. It was Jaws, Ron Jaworski, Bill Polian, and others to really hire a head coach. He was part of it. Bill was, and Andrew got his career started with Bill Polian many years ago with the Colts. So when Bill Polian likes somebody, you probably want to take a look at him.
But that's the thing. That's what you just said. And I was going to ask you, well, what did Andrew Berry really do for the Eagles? And then you mentioned, well, if you're going to block me, promote me. And then you say, well, there's no positions. Well, i.e. Andrew Berry. They created a position for him.
Ryan,
so
that was not one that they even thought of having until I'm assuming that Polian, someone had to put Andrew on his radar, on Howie Roseman's radar.
Sure.
Now, here's what he was looking for. there's part of Howie's job that he would love to hand off to somebody else. But
What part is that?
Analytics overview. Help. I put this on Inside the Birds with Mosher and I a couple weeks ago. Part of Andrew's job was to help Roseman and Peterson put together a coaching list for potential hires for Doug if they were going to change or to put on his radar for the future.
Right.
So that's part of his job. That's a very important job because Doug doesn't have time to do this. And Howie, that comes under his purveyance. But Andrew, because he's worked with other teams before, or Howie's only worked for the Eagles, this helps. Andrew's had different exposures to NFL personnel than Howie's had. So he has some value. But overall, I don't know where anyone can move up with the Eagles unless somebody leaves. And if you're blocking them, certainly no one's moving up.
All right. Spending time with Adam Caplan at Caplan.
So I wanted to clear
NFL.
that up because
that
was going to be an issue over time, especially after the draft in May. That's when front offices change. You don't let people leave. You really don't let people leave before the draft. It's not unheard of, but it's very rare because they want, like if Mike and I were running a personnel department, Ryan, you were on another team and you wanted to hire some of our guys. Why are you going to let our guys go to your team before the draft? You have our secrets.
Exactly.
So just wanting people to understand this is what
makes sense.
This is why guys get blocked, especially before the draft.
All right. So is someone coaching in this game Sunday?
That's the other one, yeah.
Going to be coaching for the Eagles next year?
Well, here's the thing.
They announced that they're going to announce their full staff next week.
It's going to be next week. We've been saying it for like 3 or 4 weeks. It would be after the Super Bowl before they announce the entire staff. So what we reported on Inside the Birds 2 weeks ago, I believe, is very true. Matt Burke should be wind up being their D-line coach. He's their defensive special projects coach. Matt Burke was a Jim Schwartz protege. Now, why did they move him up to D-line? My understanding is this is interesting. There are coaches around the league thought he would be the linebackers coach for the Lions and get out and work for Matt Patricia. But because obviously Corey Unlin now is the D-backs coach, he would want to bring Burke with him. The Eagles prevented that. They're going to promote him. Jeremiah Washburn, I'm told, will have an opportunity to be his assistant if he wants to do it. Washburn's another sort of special projects coach for the Eagles. He's another Jim Schwartz guy. Obviously, he's the son of the legendary Jim Washburn, who was one of the few coaches to get fired after he got off a plane. I reported that 9 years ago. How the hell is it? Excuse my language. This isn't 9 years ago.
That's crazy.
I've never heard of that before. The guy gets fired. He gets off of a plane. They had a bad loss. That was all about Juan Castillo, by the way. That fight, it was not pretty. And Juan now is the Bears' offensive line coach, by the way.
Yeah, and you bring up Juan Castillo, which just brings back memories of like
that
Andy
year.
Being here, and today Donovan spoke to the Chiefs. He was the speaker to the Chiefs today, and Andy basically said, like, he's been here, he knows what it takes. I don't know. I don't know that I'm not a Donovan hater by any stretch. Yeah. I don't know that he's my first motivational speaker on Super Bowl week.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but you know what he could
Moves
say?
the needle.
Let me ask you both. You're a little younger than Mike, but you probably remember it. Did you think, Mike, after that Super Bowl, that they'd be back with Donovan?
Yeah, I guess because you didn't know that T.O. thing was going to go off the rails.
Well, that was okay. You're right. But what I would tell you is this. You never know that you're back there. And Donovan, I think, would hopefully tell him, take advantage of it because you never know if you'll get back. No matter what you think. Look,
that's a good point. That should be the centerpeace of his message. If that's what he was, talking to the team, that's fair. That's a good explanation.
I would because Dan Marino, I thought for sure growing up as a kid, for sure he'd be a multiple Super Bowl winner, at least get back. He never did.
Yeah.
And he got in his second year in '85.
Yep. Adam Caplan, SiriusXM NFL Radio, at Caplan NFL, Inside the Birds podcast. You can check that out with Jeff Mosher, of course, on our website.
Yeah, Mike, just real quick. We do a thorough explanation of Mike McDaniel and Mike LaFleur, Matt's brother. We explain what they do, what the difference would be.
We're both 49er assistants.
One's the pass game coordinator, one's the run game. I'm told, by the way, that they're both under contract. And Kyle does not like to let his coaches leave, so it wouldn't shock me if he blocks both. But fact of the matter is, to wait this long, the Eagles have to know who their guy's going to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm shocked. This is the first time, and I don't know how long the names have not gotten out.
Or they just don't have a coordinator.
Well, no, but it would be. I still think it's a major long shot. That would be Press Taylor, the quarterback's coach. But that would be the major fallback option. That's like so far down. But he is well liked inside NovaCare.
All right, Adam Caplan, big
Guys,
party
thank you.
tonight.
Yeah, the Ron Jaworski party. Yeah, cannot wait.
By the way,
Yeah.
you have to do Seinfeld trivia with me.
I'm going to do it. Okay, you live a little bit farther than I do.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. But you're bet. See, I've heard your show a lot, and you throw out some stuff like the horses for Prickly Pete and who?
Snoopy.
Snoopy. Like, I don't know that. That's too inside Seinfeld. That's pretty good, but I would kill you on Fletch trivia.
Yeah, well, I never saw it, so.
Oh, I get Mosher bad. He
Mosher's
can't
good.
keep up with
yeah.
me. Yeah.
But all right, man, good to see you.
Guys, thank you.